Hey, I am Amadou Fan. In this short video, I'm going to walk through how I did my review on AI observability for master data management, not just the result, but the process, what I looked for, what I kept, what I rejected, and how these choices shaped the outcome. So cool, let's jump in. So, actually, one question that I kept in front of me was how do we make MDM actually trustworthy with AI catching drift early, explaining entity matches, and finding the real causes, providing compliance without throwing people in dashboard? Everything, everything that I did points back to that. So basically, first where I researched, I focused on ACM Sigmoid, IEEE journals for fresh stuff. I also use Open Telemetry Docs for processing pipeline and a blog for Evidently AI to see how teams respond to drift in the real world. So basically, my filters were simple. The first one was it had to touch MDM and entity resolution and one observability pillar. Secondly, it needed evidence, a system, a method, or a study. Thirdly, the last but not the least, and it had to add a unique angle, not just repeat another paper, but anything that was pure marketing, too old for today's stack, and had no evaluation, I parked it. So here are the sources that I shaped my outcomes very briefly. So basically the sources are, first one is explainable link prediction in MDM. This is the XLP paper where what I liked about this paper is that is the three explanation style, evident evidence snippets, simple anchor rules, graph path, it perfect for human review of merges and splits. Secondly was it was like unified lineage system from Sigmoid, a pick one. It builds a single map from code, runtime plus logs, so you can trace sensitive data end to end. That become the spike of my spine, the basic entity of my architecture. The third one was Anchor from CMU. This helped me with drift instead of random metrics. You simulate realistic drifts offline and you can pick the few metrics that actually predict performance loss. It was very practical. The next one was a drift aware data quality score paper in JSS. Keeps quality score fresh as distribution move so your DQ is not stuck in the last quarter. The next one was prolet. It was definitely prolet. This turns pipeline provenience into short narratives. It's the bridge between graphs and people. Auditors can actually read what's changed. The next one was data pact, compliance as code, baked into pipelines, not bolted on later. That's where my policy cheeks plus evidence bundles ideas come from. The next one was fairness aware streaming ER. Yeah, it was this. Keeps like did you fair in real time, important for requirements, governance, and explainability. So and then I finally a position paper on observability data management, how to handle high cardinality tired stories so you can keep signals without breaking the bank. So so for this, I used evidently drift piece and open telemetry. Like I told you earlier that I researched about it open telemetry only as a sporting content, helpful for diagrams, wording, not as core evidence. So there was few rejections. I also rejected a bunch of things. Here's why. Vendors like white papers with big claims but no methods, great marketing, weak evidence, generic DevOps, observability ports, post useful for uptime but no linear MDM angle, older ER reviews, good history but no explainability, fairness which I need now, and archive ideas without evaluation. I noted them, but if there was no data or system, I did not lean on them. So like the pruning kept the evidence led, the pruning like kept the review evidence led and current. So what really mattered was the intersections, like XLP, Prolet plus ULS. I proposed like an audit create explanation store, like ER rationales, like and pipeline narrative saved once linked to lineage reused in audits. The second one like logs casual ULS. So a casual lineage view which you can ask like if we roll back this transform, how many files merges would drop and who is affected? That's a very interesting question, I think. So the next one was like the intersection. You can say Angular plus drift aware DQ, a very like risk aware monitoring system that ages gracefully instead of spamming alerts. And the next one is like privacy survey plus data pact, machine checkable policies that compile into evidence bundles, not just the PDFs, like you can say, but the pointers into lineage and explanations. So you can say um like those intersections become my open research issues. Unified drift semantics, self-calibrating thresholds, explanation stores, casual lineage fusion, policy like IRs, a common identity layer, human-centered UX metrics, and a public benchmarks. So the challenge is like you can say a lot of challenges were faced during this research, but you can say the important challenges I can say are like terminology drift across fields, system against requirements against HCI. I solved this by normalizing terms in my outline. Few public benchmarks that combine drift, fairness, lineage, and compliance. So I proposed one in open issues as well. And last one is like translating lineage into human readable evidence. That's why I leaned on like more on Prolit and designed the case file idea. So yeah, if I had more time, I would have like tried to have a prototype in a tiny casual lineage demo and do a steward user test to perform like to measure time to decision. So that was like this was my process: careful research, strict like inclusion, clear rejection, and then combining the best part into a unified human-centered architecture. And like all of the sources are in my paper, like in my paper in like pure IEEE format, and the video link is there as well. So like, thanks for watching. Once again, thank you so much.